I think this is how we want to play. Play a nasty game. So this is how our standard needs to be like this.
With Game 1 being absolute cinema between the Clippers and Nuggets, we've seen big shots fall from both sides with major excitement throughout the game, but the Denver Nuggets ultimately held off the Clippers on their home floor to shift the series in their favor, going up 1 with a 112-110 victory in overtime. Now, a lot of us have seen that clutch Westbrook jumper that showcased the trust the Nuggets have in one another, but how exactly did the offensive firepower get to this point? Well, for starters, it all kicks off with the Nuggets' connectivity. On this play here, you can see that Bogdan is fronting Jokic to stop an easy entry pass. So that's why you also see Zoo sliding over to take away anything over the top, and this here makes Derrick Jones Jr. either have to cover Watson or Russ on the outside. But the key thing for every hooper to know in this moment is that you never just sit on the outside when a defender isn't paying attention, as this flash middle can now make the defense collapse, and now look what opens up. Yeah, it's Watson on the backside of the play who can now finish off the easy short push shot. Flashes like that not only help you set up your teammates, as it can help you score the ball as well, as when Nikola gets the ball on the switch, you can see the double already coming his way in a quick manner, and I want you all to look at Harden and Russ. In basketball, things are mainly about positioning on the floor. So with Harden standing straight up and to the side of Russ, this allows Westbrook to face cut him right to the rim, and here comes the energy. Now with the team having trust in one another and being able to locate each other quickly while the defense scrambles, here's where you have the confidence to not just send it sharply to the corner, but Russ also has the confidence in himself to send it up and knock it down. Dealing with these three on the floor can be extremely hard because 1, Jamal can make the defense shift with his gravity, 2, Jokic can also make the defense shift as well, and then 3, well, Russ understands how to put himself in the best position to score, and if you're not glued to him, well, here's where you can get an easy bucket uncovered. The Nuggets will use this Murray and Jokic pick and roll to get into their offense consistently, as if the defense made any mistakes as in not stepping up on this play, this gap between Zoo and Murray is massive as Zoo is playing drop coverage, and with Jones having to get all the way around Jokic, the contest on this jump shot is just too late. This two-man action is extremely versatile, as you'll have plays where a whole side is cleared out for them to go to work, and let's say the defense decides to close off the paint so Jokic can't drive, well, he has no problem using that soft touch floater over the top. If Jokic instead decides he doesn't want to attack the basket and chooses to operate in that mid-range, he can knock down these shots with ease. And with the defense wanting to keep Murray out the paint and take away any easy pull-up, that's why you see Zoo here cutting off any water Murray may have, but you certainly can't forget about Jokic on the outside, who knocked down 41% of his three-point attempts during the regular season. When you have two highly dependable options on the floor who can create a shot out of nothing, that's when you'll notice defenders all key in on these two while forgetting about the man they're supposed to be guarding. So I'm sure we can all see that Harden is locked in on Murray coming off this screen, just unaware that Brown is slicing to the basket, and in the playoffs, these are the type of defensive lapses you can't have. I understand that the game plan might be to take away looks from Murray and make it hard for Jokic to thread the needle to his guys, but when you focus so much on that, you'll have two defenders end up chasing Murray off the screen as they didn't communicate on who would take him, and now you leave Gordon to slip the screen, Jokic to drop the pass, and here comes the slam. Things like that are what you have to watch out for, especially when you're dealing with someone like Jokic, as all it takes is the defense being one step behind and they'll be paying for it in the blink of an eye. Take this play for an example. When receiving the screen from Gordon, James is going to jump out as he doesn't want to let Jokic just continue to the paint, but now look at Zoo. He's now falling behind the play, leaving Gordon to have a clear path for takeoff. So here's where Nikola will lead the pass to the rim where only Gordon can get it, and the alley-oop connection is now underway. These decisions from Jokic have to be made in such a quick instance, as he understands the defense will always look to double him. So sometimes when he catches in the post position with a mismatch, he'll begin to make his move right before seeing the double. So here's where a quick spin back the other way into a warm-up layup becomes available. But for other times, Jokic might not be able to spin into the lane. So when Powell gets too far over and help here, he not only leaves Brown wide open for his shot, but he also leaves MPJ open as well. This makes it to where a closeout to either one of them would be difficult to make in time. But even more when Jokic chooses to go all the way to the corner, there's certainly no effect in this one. If you ask me, there's truly not a way to send doubles at Jokic without getting burned, because he knows where all his guys are at any given moment, so when Batum rotates over from the backside, Jokic can easily hit Gordon for another wide open three. Like seriously, you might be better off going at Jokic with a one-on-one scheme, because yeah, the doubles do force him to make a pass to another teammate, but when you realize he'll make the right play 9 times out of 10, this not only gets other guys going, giving them confidence, but if you're on the home floor, this is when things get hype. Yeah, Every time down the floor, Jokic can either choose to pick you apart with that passing, or if you do decide to go one-on-one with him, well, he can get crafty with that footwork out the post and use that step through to leave Zoo in the dirt. Guarding Jokic is something the Clippers are going to struggle with all series, as there's not a single thing he can't do on the floor. But let's say it's not Jokic heating up, well, they also have to worry about Murray, who can get creative in that mid-range by using his body to get into done on the gather, and now it's an and-one bucket. I know Jamal hasn't looked like himself, and there have been concerns whether he'll show up or not, but hey, after nailing tough shots like this over Harden, it's safe to say that he's locked in. If the defense is to not communicate when the pick and roll is initiated and no one ends up stepping up, well, with confidence, he'll rise up over the top to show you to step out. And other times when he can see that the big is waiting on him and this right side of the floor is crowded, it may be simple, but realizing that the middle of the floor is wide open is huge. As now you have Dunn, who's gearing up to get over the top of the screen, which now allows Murray to get a step on him downhill when crossing over. And at this point, Murray's already focused on getting to the rim to convert the tough layup. The Clippers are going to have to do a better job at shutting off the water for other guys if they want a chance to win, and even more than that, they can't be so careless with the ball. It's not like the Nuggets are known to be some dominant defensive team or anything, but when the time came for it, they made sure to be in the correct spots. Such as on this pick and roll action, Zoo gets free on the roll to the paint to have a mismatch, but Jokic hustles hard to get back and get a hand on it, and right here is where you know who wants it more. When looking at the screen, Kawhi and Brown are basically able to make a play on the ball in this moment. Now I get it, Brown is a little closer, but that doesn't mean you don't try. And you know what? I'll just let you see the difference in urgency.
Jokic knocks it away. Oh, what a save!
Let me remind you, that play came in overtime, where the stakes are highly crucial, and this is something you can see throughout the game. The Nuggets as a whole displayed this grit and energy that will ultimately win them the game, and in a series where it's key that you win at home, the Nuggets took care of business and now look to take this momentum into game 2. Everybody below, drop your comments on what you thought about this game and who you think is going to win the series. Also comment cash if you want to see me continue to break down the Nuggets and Clippers series. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.